Now, local chess fans can once again check how they stack up against other players of the centuries-old game. The 8th annual Broome County Chess Championship, Francis Cordisco Memorial, takes place this weekend. The two-day tournament is broken into two sections based on players' rankings, with those under 1700 and those over 1700 split into separate competitions. Up to $500 in prize money is available depending on the number of entrants. Founder and tournament director John Cordisco says chess is the great equalizer. It doesn't care about a player's age, race, or income.
People that come in to see a tournament, they told me later, they go, wow, it is really intense. I mean, there's nothing going on, there's no sound, but when you walk in, you can just feel the tension because you've got anywhere from 10 to 20 players just thinking as hard as they can.
Each player is guaranteed 6 games over Saturday and Sunday. The tournament is held in the back of Cordisco's Corner store at the corner of Robinson and Shenango in Binghamton. Registration begins at 9 a.m. Saturday with play starting at 10 each day. Call 772-8782 for more information.
Hi folks, John Cordisco back again. Sorry I haven't done a video in a while. Life sometimes gets tough and you just have to roll the punches. We'll just leave it at that. And I'm going to try to do some more videos, get back on track again. So to all my subscribers, I apologize. It's been a while. I hope to do better. But sometimes life is just tough and you just got to deal with what you got to deal with. Anyway, let's get to it here. I'm a little bit behind. This is the 79th edition of Tata Steel Chess, played in Vikensee in the Netherlands. Round 3 coverage. As white, Yi Wei, I never can pronounce these names right, I have trouble with Chinese names. And also from Russia is Nepomniachtchi, aka Nepo. Let's get to it. It's going to be Sicilian Nadorf. Wei is white and Nepo is black. We'll just go through the opening quickly. I'm going into too much opening theory in my videos here. There's other channels for that. I'm just not a big opening knowledge person. H6, pretty much all standard stuff. That's the thing with this, is all pretty much book. These guys are all going by book, been played a million times. That's why I'm kind of going through it quick. Interesting there though. I find that a little fascinating because you block it with the knight. I kind of like queen c6 myself. I don't like putting myself in a pin, but that's just me. b4, pawn takes, castles, knight, knight takes, pawn takes, pawn takes, pawn takes, pawn takes. And this is a very strange position here. I mean, look at the pawns are just massacred, especially whites. And you would think that black would be way ahead, but not. He's only less than a half a pawn up on, according to the computer, for black. That e pawn for white's going to be hard to defend. Well as black c pawn, but I just think they're butchered so badly. Let's see how it works out. Bishop e6, developing the piece. Rook b1. Queen moves over. Bishop g4. For some reason white wants the light squared bishop off, probably because it helps protect the e4 pawn. But he just moves up with a pawn. Other bishop comes up. Covering a lot of key squares here. If this bishop moves, that's covering a lot of squares. Rook to g8. A bishop takes. Queen takes. Interesting here, rook f6. Now, oddly enough, let's go back here. I kind of like queen h5. I think it's a lot bolder. protects the pawn as well as hits that vulnerable f7 pawn at the same time. But the computer likes queen to e2 as well. Not as good, but rook to f6 is the computer choice. Queen there. Let's go back. Queen takes e5, I think, is the correct move. Then after rook takes a6. But black decided to shoot the dice a little bit. And frankly, I think that was a mistake. Had a chance to get that pawn. Bishop e7. A lot of interesting moves here. Queen takes h4 looks interesting. Let's take a look at that. And queen comes up. Sacrifice the piece. But I think black's in a lot of trouble. Rook d1 will be a follow-up. Rook takes, king takes. We can go through. This is a computer scenario here. Check, king takes, check. This is the way the computer figured it out. It's a little crazy. I can see why they didn't go for it that way. Queen to g4, rook bishop d2, bishop e7. Rook goes to f4, hitting the queen and protecting the bishop at the same time. Queen d7, queen comes back. Now, finally, the queens are traded. And I think white's doing okay now. I liked black before, but e6. He probably figures, you know what? I can't protect it. Let's just get rid of it. If pawn takes, rook takes e4. If king takes, rook takes e4. He has to take. But he goes rook to f7 instead. Forcing, I think, the move here. But he didn't go for it. He went check. King went back to e8. What to do? What to do? Decided to go after the pawn. Now I think black's in trouble. The score doesn't show on the computer as much, but I think black's in trouble. At b4, a4, c4. I think Nepomniachtchi's back in the game. The bishop takes, the pawn takes. So let's do a little scorekeeping here. Black has a bishop and 2 pawns for the rook. Looks really good for black now. This game's been going back and forth. We're on move 31. I'm not sure if they're in time trouble. Rook to h8. Bishop. Rook f1. Double hitting the bishop. King has to move. Rook checks. King goes to d6. Now getting that king up in the action with the pawns is a really good idea for black. But believe it or not, white basically has the upper hand here. King e7 has to go back. Checks. King d6. Now the other rook goes to f7. Bishop. Rook checks. King has to come up. But seems pretty good. Rook c7. I think this is very well done by white, by Wei Yi. He's playing those rooks beautifully. And so far, black's pawns have been stymied. I like b3 forcing the passed pawn, but he went c3 instead. I think that was a big mistake. King f2. Now the king comes up. g4. Rook checks. King f6. What do? You got to move the king over. King can't come up here, of course, because of the rook. Rook b8. Trying to force that pawn through. Rook goes to b1. Rook d8. I think this is being played very well by white. Rook checks. King e7. Check. King d6. Rook goes right to c4, goes after the pawn. And this is where I think Nepomniachtchi Blew it. He should have won king to e5. Protect that forward pawn, I think, at all costs. He decided to go back to e7, and that was the beginning of the end, I think. Rook to d1. Can't trade the rooks. It's the only rook you have. It's your only chance at counterplay. Other rook comes up. The b3 is forcing it through. C takes. Rook takes. Rook checks. Very beautifully done by white here. And we'll go through the final few moves. Just very well done by white. Rook d2, pawn, king takes. King comes up. Rook takes, check. Rook e4, rook takes. Rook takes. a5. And you're going to see we're going to get down to the end here. Checks, king comes back, check, king. And that was the mistake there that really cost him the game. That was the final blunder, I think. Rook checks. Deflection. Now that rook is gone. And you're going to see this is played beautifully by white. If you're looking for some instruction on rook and bishop endings with a pawn, this is it. King e2, bishop c3. Rook comes over, threatening the bishop, making a move. Force him to give up the pawn. This is just beautifully done. Bishop c7. Rook comes over. King comes up. King comes up. We're getting towards the end here. a5. Beautiful. Bishop has to come back. a6. Bishop. And just bishop b3. And that's the end. There's nothing black can do. Beautifully done by Wei Yi. So there you have it, folks. One of the games from round 3 of the Tata Steel Chess 2017. I hope you enjoyed it. Sorry I went quickly through the ending there. It's quite a long game. If you want to go slower and watch the video, you'll see some really, really, really great end game technique by Wei Yi. And as I always say, if you think chess is just a game, you're not playing it right. Take care, folks. Bye-bye.